cast, not a cast pod. Hey, Frage, every
All right,
day
Mystic
she'll make
Michaela
you
is
say,
here. You all know her. You follow her. She's been on this podcast before. And I even feel like a connection because Meghan King, who now, I mean, she's remarried to, I mean, she's basically related, she is related to the president. Anyway, she's kind of the one, she brought you on Housewives. We all end up like following you, adoring you. Meghan's awesome, by the way. She was a great podcast guest. I loved having her on.
She's amazing. She can talk about anything. She's so down to earth. I mean,
And
I love her forever.
confident, so confident in herself, you know? And damn, does she know how to manifest a man? Okay, all the way to the White House.
I know. Yeah, seriously. I mean, the girl can manifest anything. I always ask her for tips or anything because I see how she does it. And I think a big thing is like, because she's yellow and your aura does, and we'll get into that, but your aura does help you manifest. And if you follow the lead of your energy signature, you'll manifest quicker. It's kind of like going down a road that you're more familiar with rather than taking a different one. So she's yellow. And if you're yellow, a big thing is like living as if, planning as if. So it's kind of like, I'm going to set my life up so that it's supportive to what I want. And then it'll just happen. And I see her doing that a lot, you know, so it's like, I'm going to buy a wardrobe for the gig I'm going to get. And she buys the wardrobe and then the gig comes because she planned for it. So that's a very yellow person thing to do though.
Okay. Well, for anyone that needs the reminder, you read auras, which essentially means that all of us sort of have a color around us. And that color can change based on kind of like what's going on in your life. But you literally can walk into a room and you see color around people. And I love your celebrity takes because you can read an aura from celebrities and you give all your hot takes, which are amazing. You're intuitive as well. You know, we're heading into the new year. This is a very powerful time to manifest. I've been doing some manifesting myself, and I thought, I'm going on all my feelings now, and you have been on my mind. I'm like, I need Mystic Michaela on the show. I need her to tell everybody listening, how did they manifest coming up in 2022? The job of their dreams, the relationship of their dreams, just even peace and clarity in our lives after, you know, coming out of COVID. So tell people, where do you want to start, by the way? Like, what are you feeling?
It's kind of like a two-step thing because, like, whenever you got to manifest, you have to say, well, what is it that I want? That's really hard for a lot of people. If the number one thing I would say when I do readings, because the future you make, it's not exactly set in stone. So if somebody has an up in the air goal for themselves, the future is very up in the air because how you think actually manifests around you. That's how you manifest. So if people are kind of like, I don't know what I want. I don't want to be in this job, but I don't know what else I want to do. Then what's going to recreate is you being in this job and not wanting to be there, but not knowing what else to do. But if people start getting a goal, then their whole life will change. But that's a very hard thing to ask yourself. What do I want? And you have to be very specific about it. And and a lot of times we're scared of not getting what we want. We're scared of being disappointed. Sometimes that can be a trigger to childhood. Maybe you didn't get what you want often, so it just made you like not want anything, is kind of like a coping mechanism to that or something. So asking yourself what you want is the most important yet difficult step. After that, it's kind of easy because the universe will just take off.
Okay. And does that apply for relationships too? Because, you know, half my audience is married, has kids, or, you know, they don't want kids. And the other half is single. And I hear a lot, you know, I'm looking for a great man. You know, who do you know? Like everyone wants to meet my brother, you know, who lives like up in Maine. I'm like, if you want to move to Maine, he's free. So does that work for relationships too?
You have to, and I say this to people too, instead of, you know, obviously we want to be physically attracted to somebody and obviously all that, but it's better to kind of manifest somebody based on your emotional connection. So a lot of us, we don't think of this, like we put it down on the list, like, okay, this person has to have a job and they have to be attractive and they need to kind of just, it's not, I don't want to say superficial, but to the universe it is. So the best way to manifest is actually to make yourself, I want to feel safe. And then, and this is hard, you have to meditate or sit and feel safe or feel like you're loved, or what would that feel like if I had it, and then actually experience it which takes practice, but the more you do that, I feel safe, I feel loved, I'm connected. That feeling of laying next to somebody in bed and just being like, oh, home, that feeling. If you can sit in those feelings, which again can be very triggering, and sometimes you will cry when you're going through it, or sometimes you will be like, man, I wish this was actual, it's because that part's hard. But honestly, the more you sit in that, the easier it is for the universe to come just drop it in your lap. The work is sitting in that feeling, and that is work, but that's all the work you have to do. And then you're focusing more on the feelings that you want with somebody versus what your life would look like, kind of on paper, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does to me now. And it's funny because I've been working at meditation and manifesting for a long time, and it took me a long time to get the feel it thing. Like, I knew all the goals that I wanted and I would write them down, but like I never slowed down to feel it. To actually sit and meditate and go, okay, what would it feel like if you already had this national TV job? Like, what would it feel like to be a producer? What would you be doing? What would your team around you be? It took me the longest time to get the feeling part.
Yes, and that's the key. Like that right there. And then the second part is you have to detach from it. So the first thing is you have to want it, which is hard. Okay, this is exactly what I want, my TV producer gig. Then you have to sit and meditate like, okay, I'm in a room. Everyone's saying, oh, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Going through kind of what that would feel like on a daily basis, even like, okay, I'm feeling in charge. I'm feeling a little stressed, but it's good. I'm feeling creative, all those feelings. Then you have to step away from it because the universe does not like you on its back. So then you have to be like, and I give it to you. I already did the work. It's, what I want. It's like, kind of like it's in escrow. It's coming when it's ready to be delivered to me. That's difficult too, to kind of take a step back.
Especially, I would imagine your followers and mine, a lot of type A women, like a lot of women that are used to like getting it done, being in control. And lots of times like that works for people for a very long time. And then all of a sudden it stops working and they're totally rattled.
100%, because a lot of us were told, if you want something done, you better do it yourself. And it's hard. And a lot of times that works for us because like we're the ones like running the house or running the company or running just running whatever we're running. And we're the ones like, okay, I'll just do it. And you get a lot of stuff done that way. But are these the things that you want? That's the other thing. Like, are these the things that you want? And sometimes the stuff that you really, really, really want, it comes when you let go and now let somebody else help you. And I think a lot of us have a hard time with letting somebody else come in and help us, including the universe or however that looks. So when the universe offers you something and it doesn't look exactly like what you pictured, but it still feels right, that's a gift and it's going to turn into something else. So kind of like control and letting go and having some sort of differentiation between like, I guess this is okay, even though it's not exactly what I thought it would be, versus I need to have everything my way. So I feel like it's hard. It's very hard, but it can happen with practice. Yes.
It really can, right? I mean, you work with people, I'm sure. I mean, Megan King is an example of people that manifest huge things. And to the outside, to us looking at it, it seems like how does she continue to just like meet all these high profile men that like she's like madly in love with and has a connect, like, but you work with people all the time that you see can have really mastered manifesting.
Yes. And a lot of it is because you have to focus on the end result, not how it happened. So, you got to let go of the steps to getting there and just focus on what it'll feel like when you have it. So sometimes just because of the work I do, I'll see people that really want a baby. They really, really want a baby. And they're going through whatever struggles they're going through having a baby. And I tell them, and I get all the time people coming back to me saying it worked. I tell them all the time, just let it go and just picture yourself holding that baby and feeling unconditional love, being shared between you and that baby. And it worked out differently. I ended up getting a surrogate. I adopted. I had the baby, the fertility stuff cleared up. Because you just have to let it go, because that baby at the end of the day, that's your baby, no matter how it came to you.
Yeah.
So little, and that baby could be the job or the relationship, or that baby could be the house or the trip or like whatever, but just focus on that instead of how it happens.
Oh my God, I love that.
That's
do you
so hard though.
It is. And do you encourage your clients? Because I say this to the universe or God like every day. I'm like, also give me the wisdom to like know when that opportunity, to see that opportunity. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
I ask the universe all the time, give me the strength, the clarity to recognize a great opportunity, no matter how the package comes.
And you are so right, because you have to, and it is not a one-way conversation. So you can talk to God, your spirit, angels, whatever you want to call that, your higher self, whatever you believe in. You can say, like, can you please send me some sort of sign or symbol that is going to give me clarification? And they will look for numbers, look for signs, look for people saying something to you out of the blue, look for inspired thought, like, oh, I just saw this billboard, that was so weird. And then if you still don't believe it, ask for another sign just to clear it up. The thing is, be open to it. And
you have to be.
You have to be. And so what, a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm just making it up in my head or whatever. But if you just keep being open to it, they will tell you, they'll hit you over the head with it and everyone I talk to who's gone through this has been like, yes. And finally this one thing happened, whatever sign that was, and it was just, it had to be it. This was it.
Well, most people are skeptics. Most people believe, like, if you have great success, you had to like hurt people on the way, or you had to work so hard, or it can't be that easy, right? And so people are so skeptical. I think they don't believe, like, until you begin to see it line up. And that's the thing. Like, I also, something clicked. I can't even know the moment, but this year I just thought, I'm just gonna let go and like believe, like, not, I don't want to say believe, because it's not like it's really true, but I think just like surrender, maybe, like stop trying to make up any excuse. And I thought, I'm going to just surrender and go with this, because in a lot of aspects of my life for the past 4 years, I've been so struggling, like jealous of other creators. And I'm like, none of this is getting me any closer to what I want. And it's so much energy. I'm like, I'm going to just step back. I'm going to meditate and gratitude journal and put what I want out there and let it go. And, and the other thing too, talk to me about this. What do you recommend to your clients? Because this took me a long time to get to. I thought I had to hustle and work so hard. And a lesson that I finally got through, like Abraham Hicks, I've been doing a lot of their, just readings and podcasts and all their stuff. I love some of their things, is you have to have fun. Like, if you're not having fun, and I think this is what you're saying, like, you've got to set the goal, set the intention, you've got to feel it, and then you've got to release it. And then you almost have to go and like enjoy your life at the time without it. Is that true? What do you think?
Yeah, it's called destiny tuning, is actually the term for what you're talking about. It's like when you fall in love with what you want, almost like it was flippin' Prince Charming, okay? Like, you have to, like, or Harry Styles or something. Like, you gotta, like, I am in love with, insert goal here, and I'm in love with that goal. I'm in love with that concept. I'm in love with this intention I'm setting. And you have to feel in love with it. And it's just like, you love bringing into your life. You love the Post-it note you stick on your computer to remind you of it. You love every day when you say your mantra in your mirror 10 times while you're putting on your makeup. You love when you're doing whatever you're doing to work towards it, because so falling in love with it. And like what you said with having fun. Yeah. And that goes back to the aura thing. Cause a lot of us will try to get what we want on roads that aren't us. So It's like, I want to, be in love, but now I'm going to go and do what all the other people are doing in order to be in love. And like, none of that feels authentic to me. So that goes back to the aura thing. It's like, who am I really? How can I do something that's comfortable and fun for me? Anything that you do, if it's starting to feel like it's giving you anxiety, or it's uncomfortable, or you're dreading it, and there's good fear and bad fear. If it's the bad fear, which means it's the stuff that you really shouldn't be doing, then it's time to make tweaks. Like, you know what? I'm going to move this around and that around. I'm going to do this. And now I'm more comfortable. Now it's just nerves. That's different than bad stuff. So have fun and don't be afraid to make changes to make it fun.
Yes.
And that serves you.
Is there a way, Michaela, how can people, now you're obviously booked. I mean, you are booked. You do have a waiting list for clients. Is there a way people can sort of figure out their own aura without having a reading? Like, are there just some personality traits and you're like, oh, that you're very blue, you're very purple, you're yellow. What can people do if they can't get in with you in the immediate? How can people begin to find what their aura is?
My whole Instagram is like dedicated to this. Like my whole
yeah, it's true.
Like I have fun like every day. I'm like, like how can like I do any, so you can go there.
Yes, which is Mystic Michaela.
But really, all an aura is, and it doesn't matter what anybody tells you you are. It's really just having that conversation with yourself. Who am I? Right there. The second you're like, do I like this? How am I motivated? How do I communicate? How does that differ from other people? Right there, you're going to have such a really important conversation with yourself that gets you to know yourself better, which can totally lead you into your aura. I would say like 80% of the people who try to figure out their own aura based on my my descriptions get it correct.
Okay.
Or I agree with it at least or whatever. I'm like, yeah. Because when you know yourself better, it's real. Like I might not have known myself this well, like when I was 20 versus now.
I know, me too.
Right? Because I would have thought I was a whole different aura color. Now I realize I was like, I was wearing inauthentic colors and things like that to try to do life the way other people were doing it. But the better you know yourself, the more you're going to read yourself. So conversations with yourself and then just read the descriptions and then see what resonates with you. And as long as you have that conversation with yourself, you're good. A+. Like you'll get there.
And so, okay, you do talk, a lot of people have like multiple colors, they have like pink or there's like a little blue, a little purple. Give us, what's some of the colors that are the most popular, that most people are?
Most people are red, blue, yellow, green, or purple. And they're like a combination of the two.
Okay.
And then there's like your other colors like turquoise, pink, and indigo. And like Britney Spears is pink. Okay, so that just says everything about Britney Spears and pink. Like they're kind of like childlike and fun, and we like society. Like Marilyn Monroe was pink. People just love to just watch them. They're like escapism experts. They're so fun. But most people are those 5 aura colors and like a combo of the two.
All right, so let's pick 2 and then talk to me about what they could mean. Because obviously people, especially the better you know yourself, you can go to your Instagram. Basically, you can decipher what your aura is and that wherever you are in life. Okay, so talk to me about red. What are some things that red aura people should be looking out for in 2022 or should be, gravitating towards? Tell me about red auras.
Reds are natural leaders. They are, they're fair, they're just, they're very concerned with what's right and wrong. They're very concerned with character in other people and themselves. They definitely will give respect when it's earned and they expect it in return. And they need to work for themselves. Red people have a very hard time with authority. So a lot of times I'll see them as managers, but like the head honcho manager, I'll see them as entrepreneurs. I'll see them as people just in charge. And a lot of times, and I'll see this not as much with red men, because in our society, it's like, oh yes, definitely be the boss man. That's great. But with red women, a lot of times red women get told, simmer down, don't have such an opinion, don't try to lead people, be quieter, they get attacked. So I would say that if you feel like you're just a natural leader, you're somebody who prefers being in charge and likes to get a team together and inspire and encourage them, you really have to lean into that. And you have to lean into it in a context where people respect you and support you in that. And if that's not now, you have to keep creating your intentions and your mantras that I am able to lead others to their best paths in a supportive environment or something like that. And just watch your career, watch your life change to support that for you.
Oh, I love that. Okay, talk to me about blues.
Oh, blues. You probably have a lot of blue listeners.
Okay.
You just do, probably. Okay, so blue people are, I think the word empath gets thrown around a lot, but they really are. Empaths have the ability to really feel other people's feelings as their own and react and change their behavior because of it. The more self-aware you are about your, behavior changing because of other people, the more you'll see that you have a choice. So a lot of blue people will feel kind of like they'll walk into a room and feel the person that's kind of off or not social or having an issue, and they can't focus. They have to make a beeline directly to that person and try to bring them into the fold. That's like a blue person thing to do. A lot of blue people are like nurses or therapists or things like that. So blue people, I would say, to manifest, what happens is a lot of time you think that what you want is you, but it's really other people's stuff. So I'll see a lot of blue people like, oh, I want my spouse that, my intention is for my spouse to be happy. Well, you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. So it's very hard for blues to kind of detach themselves from other people's stuff in order to focus on their own intentions and manifestations and goals. So that's a big work for the blue.
Okay. Talk to me about purple.
Oh, purples. You probably have a lot of purples too. Okay. So purples love fun. They want to hear the gossip. They're like very on top.
Oh, this sounds like me. Okay. Are you seeing purple? Okay.
Yeah, I do. They're very much like, because a lot of times with purple people, like when we hear something, we want to analyze it and try to connect the dots intuitively. What's going on behind the scenes? What could really be happening here? Like, let's figure it out. Not because they're judging, just because they want to know, because purples are usually very vulnerable about their own stuff. So when other people are hiding their stuff, it's like, come on, you know what? Like, just say it. You're going through something with your husband, just say it. Stop trying to hide behind social media or whatever. It's like, it irks the purples. Also, purples are very creative, and they can't do a 9 to 5. They get very stressed out by authority, different than reds. They don't want to lead anybody at all. They just want to lead themselves. They don't need anybody to follow. They're okay with that. But purples are kind of your wild cards, and they have like a lot of a need for outlet. So purples for the new year with manifesting definitely need to feed the creative in them, whatever that is. It doesn't necessarily mean you're an artist or whatever. It could mean that you like to write. It could mean that you just need to change up your workout, maybe do Zumba instead of just the gym. Maybe you need to, join, go out for dancing with the girls every once in a while or something. Like, you just have to do something that makes you feel fun and free and like wild with abandon and, spontaneous, that kind of thing. Really frees up your energy when you're a purple, so other things can enter in that are for you.
God, that is so true. That is so good. Okay, we've done purple, we've done blue, we've done red. What is like a fourth very, very popular aura color, and what do
yellow.
they need? Yellow. Okay, yellows.
Yeah, so yellows tend to be planners and thinkers ahead. So yellows actually lessen their anxiety by planning ahead. That actually makes them, versus other people who like to plan ahead, but it makes them stressed out. Like, yellows love planning ahead. It makes them very happy.
This sounds like my husband. This sounds like Schman. Okay, keep going.
They love it. It makes them happy, makes them feel in control. They get excited about new ways to do it or whatever. And yellow people also are very honest and direct, and they definitely appreciate that in return. And yellows take a minute to get to warm up to somebody, and sometimes yellows, or they can be very bubbly. It's like one or the other.
Okay.
But so yellows in the new year, their big thing, I would say, is being in the present moment. It can be very hard for them once something happened that they planned on happening or whatever, and it finally comes. They're so used to thinking ahead that it can be hard for them to sit in the moment and just be like, wow, I did it. Good for me. Or let me think of all the things I need to be grateful for. Yellows are big self-improvement freaks too. They're like, okay, what book can I read about this? What can I do next? What's the next step?
This is my husband. Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny. So it's great for them. It's good that they're like that. But then at the same time, you got to be in the moment. So they need to practice that so they can do that thing where they feel the feelings so they can like manifest more stuff.
Oh, these are so good. All right. What's your last tip for people? I'm so in the zone of manifesting. I like absolutely love it. I love like letting go and focusing on having more fun and kind of doing less, sort of the opposite of everything that I've done for the past 4 years.
That's awesome.
So you really, at the start, you sort of said, put the goal out there, right? Whatever the goal, be very clear about what you want. That's the first thing, clarity. Then you have to kind of meditate and you have to really feel it. What would it feel like to have this? Who's around you? The smells? What are you doing? What's your day look like? Then you let it go. And then you kind of really can't, you have to have fun and just stay off the universe's back. You have to like enjoy it, kind of cast it out there, go on and live and love your life. Love every moment of manifesting and the journey. Is there anything else we're missing? Is there something else that often people don't get that you, as someone who's very intuitive and an aura reader and helps people get that magic? Is there something else we're missing that we should be doing?
Well, what I like the special final little spice or whatever, is talk to your angels, whatever you want to call them. Like I said, you don't have to believe in angels. You can call it your higher self if you want to. Whatever, the energy greater than us, whatever you want to call it, talk to that. I like to use numbers. This is my thing.
Okay.
So I like to pick my number. Now, some of us have our own numbers, and some people know what I'm talking about who are listening, because they're like, oh yeah, I always see like 322. It's like, whatever, that's your number. Okay.
Go on, because I was telling you in the past like 3 or 4 months, I see 111 all the time. I mean, I look up, it's 111. It's everywhere.
Yeah, and that's a big way that they speak to you, and numbers have different meanings. So let's say 111, for example. So now you're going to doodle it. You're going to write it everywhere. You're going to use it in maybe your screen names. Maybe your Peloton handle is like Sarah 111, something like that. Like, use it, get creative. You throw it out there. You're writing a note, sign it 111. Who cares? Just buy 111. I don't know, of something, try to buy quantities, donate $1.11 next time you go to cash register, whatever, just use it. Because what you're doing is you're sending that frequency out there to the universe. It's just energy. You're just sending it back into the universe and being like, yes, 111, because I wrote a book about it. 111 is like a screenshot number. So it's like, okay, I have cleared my vibration. I'm ready for the next thing. Let's replicate it. So when you see 111 and when you use it and interact with it, you're telling the universe like, yeah, totally, bring it on. I'm ready. And you can be scared. That's normal, but you're still ready. So I feel like that's the little secret thing to do. Start using a number in your daily life all the time.
I've started to talk to God and the universe. Do you talk to the universe? Do you talk to your angels out loud? Like I will.
Yeah, like all the time.
You do. And what do you say? I mean, I'm always like, God, like I don't chase, I attract. Like I'm so grateful. I'm open to, I'm so grateful for all the abundance you've given me. I'm open to all the abundance the universe has in store for me. Like I talk to my dad and my father-in-law who's in heaven. I'm like, keep, KJ even safer, keep him even healthier. Like, myself, my husband, like I go through 1,000 people that I, but I'm always like, okay, God, so what do you do? Is that, I don't even know if I'm on to the right thing, but that's what I say.
Think about it. Like if somebody was trying to talk to you and they were just ignoring you, what would you do? You'd stop talking to them. So that's like the people on the other side, angels, whatever you want to call them, your spirit buddies, like they can't talk to you if you're just like ignoring them all the time. Like that's not going to work. So the fact that you're opening that conversation, they're more apt to, just like a normal person, talk back, and they're more kind of encouraged to do things for you because you're not ignoring them. So yeah, there's so many things. I do that too. Like when I was saying, like when I put on my makeup every day, I'm like, I am confident, I am safe, I am grateful. Like whatever your thing is, like I made it my screen, I put my mantras on my lock screen on my phone. I say it to the kids every night when I'm talking to them, like, what are we grateful for today? Let's tell God, let's tell our angels. So I think just bringing it into conversation, and yes, you'll feel silly. Okay, that's part of it. It's okay. It'll wear off, and then it won't be silly anymore. Other people might think you're silly, but that's okay.
I don't give a shit. I have swam upstream for so many years. I'm like, I'm going with the flow. I'm surrendering. I'm like, I'm going with the flow. I'm going to let life unfold and be an adventure. And the universe and God, exactly what I want. And I'm going to feel like, I don't care what people think. I'm over here. My husband's getting into it, but I'm like, because I do these and like all this out loud mantra, and at first he thought it was crazy, but then I'm like, okay, you're a coach. Like, do you go and not give your team a pep talk? Do you not believe that your teammates have your back and are conspiring to help you and you're going to win the game? And then he's like, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm like, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's just a conversation. Just because we're not in the physical realm with the I guess, the energy helping us doesn't mean that we can't talk to it. So it just encourages more to, and even if it just sets your mind right, that's good too. So and I tell people too, like, because a lot of people feel silly, like, oh, I see 111, maybe I'm just looking for it or whatever. It's like, if the result is you setting your mind right or feeling grateful, then who cares how it happened? You know, like the result is the thing we're going for. So a lot of people get stuck in, this is dumb, or this is a trick, or this is new age nonsense. Actually, it's not. It's been around forever. And it's just, at the end of the day, if it makes you think better and you feel happier, then your life will be happier. It's just kind of like cause and effect. But because I have a lot of skeptics too. And then my husband too, I've had to help him as well. But they catch on. They do.
Oh, my husband sees it happening. Like, he was never a believer, and then he sees like all these things happening, and he's like, okay, I'm beginning to get it. Now, I mean, I don't know. Will Schman start his own out loud mantra? Who knows? But, you know, I mean, I think he's realizing it. It completely works. I also tell people, whether you're a skeptic or not, the power of prayer works too. Like, I get that now. Like, the power of a group of people, 3 people, 10 people, 25, praying, it's energy. And damn, it's true. It works. It 100% works. Mystic Michaela is the Instagram. People can follow you there. You only have a wait list now for clients. I know you are so busy and in demand, which I absolutely love. But you also have a book that people can read to kind of get more into the spiritual realm and aura. Tell people where they can buy that.
So it's called the Angel Numbers book, and you can buy it on simonandschuster.com or wherever else you like to buy your books. And yeah, my podcast is Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. And yeah, I mean, I love coming on here, Sarah. You're so sweet to have me.
Oh my God, I adore you. And my fans love you. You are always one of the highest rated episodes. People love it. You are. And I think that's great, because if it just sparks someone's curiosity, and I've been there, I've been the skeptic, you know, and I've been somebody, it's taken me years for all of it to click, for me to really get like the whole idea of like feeling it, letting go. It doesn't happen overnight, like you're saying, you know?
Once it clicks, it's click. And here's the thing, it's okay to be a skeptic. You really shouldn't believe in anybody else, honestly. Like, you need to believe in you. And so that's just the whole point. It's like, anything anybody says to you, you should filter through it. And if it resonates inside, then you keep it. If it doesn't, toss it out. So it's really important, I think, for people, if they hear nothing else, just listen to yourself and investigate what that means to you.
Love it, girl. Thank you for being on. Thank you.
Hey,